They told Elina her mother died, giving birth to her, and for most of her childhood, mother was just a word, an echo in the hallways of other people's homes, stitched into lullabies she never heard, written on cards she never received. But when Elina turned 16, her grandmother handed her a small wooden box wrapped in faded fabric, tied with a trembling ribbon. Inside were letters, dozens of them written in neat cursive with ink that had blurred in places from tears. She wrote one every month while she was pregnant, her grandmother whispered. Alina's hands trembled as she opened the first letter. My dearest Elina, it began, I haven't seen your face yet, but I already know I'd give my life for you. With every letter she opened, a world unfolded, a world where her mother spoke to her across time, across silence, across absence. One letter spoke of fears, of the sleepless nights, of the secret singing her mother did while resting her hands on her belly. Another was about hope, how her mother imagined Elina taking her first step, how she hoped she'd be stubborn, bold, and kind. I hope you ask difficult questions, one letter said, and I hope you never shrink to make others comfortable. In one envelope, Elina found a folded paper with a little sketch of a tree. This is where I want you to go when you're sad, it said, a tree just outside the old monastery. Sit there and listen. You'll hear me in the leaves. Elina went. It was real. The tree stood just like her mother had drawn it, and as she sat beneath its wide branches, she cried. For the years she'd lived with a mother-shaped hole in her heart, for the questions she never asked, for the birthday candles she blew out imagining a face she couldn't remember. And somehow, with each breeze, each rustling leaf, it felt like her mother was whispering back. Over the years, Elina read the letters again and again whenever the world felt too heavy or she doubted her place in it. And the letters never aged. They grew with her. At 23, when Elina stood at the edge of her dreams, unsure whether to take the leap into a new country and new life, she opened a letter that read, Courage is just love, holding your hand when you're afraid. It gave her the push she needed at 28. When she fell in love and then lost it, she read the letter where her mother said, Your heart will break. Let it. That's how the light gets in. Each letter was a conversation she'd never had, but always needed. And then, on her 30th birthday, she opened the final envelope. It was older, yellower, sealed with care. If you're reading this, it began, then you've grown into the woman I only ever imagined. I am proud of you, not because you became someone perfect, but because you dared to feel, to fall, and to rise again. There were no instructions in that last letter, just quiet love, stitched into every line. That night, Elina stood under the stars, holding all the letters close to her chest. She had never heard her mother's voice, never felt her touch, never saw her smile, and yet she had been mothered, beautifully, fiercely, unforgettably, by someone who had never met her. And in that, Elina learned something that shaped the rest of her life. Presence is not only physical. Sometimes love travels through paper, through memory, through places and wines and words. It taught her that the people we've never touched can still heal us, guide us, and raise us. Elina went on to write her own letters, one each month to a daughter she might one day have, not knowing if she'd live to meet her, but hoping that love, once written with truth, never really disappears. Years later, When someone asked her how she grew up without a mother, she smiled and said, "I didn't. I just grew up reading her love, one page at a time." So to anyone who's ever felt the ache of absence, know this: some of the most powerful connections are not made through presence, but through meaning. And sometimes the quietest love stories are the ones that speak loudest, long after the writer is gone. Subscribe if this touched you.